Okay, so here I'm going to take this negative, I'm going to make it a -1, and I'm going to distribute it to every term after it. So I'm going to start with my -3x, just bringing that down. I'm going to cover it up with my fingernail. -1 times x is -1x, or just -x, and a -1 times a -5 is a +5. All right, so now let's combine. This is -4x plus 5. Or I could write this as 5 minus 4x, because either way, the 4x is negative and the 5 is positive. All right, this next one, I'm going to bring down my first expression, x minus y, and then I'm going to take this negative, turn into a -1, and distribute it to each term after the negative. So -1 times 6y is -6y, -1 times 3x is -3x, -1 times 2 is -2. And now I'm going to combine like terms. So I start off with a +1x, and I'm going to combine a -3x. So that gives me a -2x. Then I have a -1y and a -6y, which is a -7y minus 2. All right. To the next one. Now this one's a little bit different because these parentheses have a 4 in front, which means I have to multiply each term inside the parentheses by 4. These parentheses have a +6 in front, which means I have to multiply each term inside the parentheses by +6. Then I need to combine like terms. So let's see, 4 times 8m is 32m, minus 4 times 7n is 28n. 6 times 3n is +18n, and 6 times -4m is -24m. Okay, now I can combine like terms. So I have a +32m and a -24m. That would give me a +8m. And then I have a -28n and a +18n, so that's a -10n. Or I could write this as -10n plus 8m, because either way, the 10n is negative and the 8m is positive. All right, so for this one, let's see, I'm going to take my 9 and I'm going to multiply it by every term inside these parentheses. I'm going to take my +5 and I'm going to multiply it by every term inside these parentheses. So this is 9r minus 9s, and this is plus 10r minus 10s. And now I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 10r and I have a I have 9r and I have a +10r, so that's 19r. And I have a -9s and a -10s, so that's -19s. Or I could write this as -19s plus 19r, because either way, the 19s is negative and the 19r is positive. So either one of those answers would be okay. All right, for this one, I'm going to take my 12 and I'm going to multiply it by each term inside the parentheses. So it's going to be 12 minus 36g plus, I'm going to take my 8, multiply by everything inside those parentheses, 8g plus 8f. And the only thing I can combine are the two terms that have g. So this is going to be 12 minus 28, I think, 28g plus 8f. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to take my 5, multiply it by these things inside parentheses, take my -8, multiply it by these things inside parentheses. I have 5a plus 5b minus 8a. Now, a negative times a negative is a +8b. That's one of those common mistakes. People will write -8b here, but it's a negative times a negative, so it's a +8b. And then I combine like terms. +5a and -8a is -3a. +5b and +8b is +13b. All right, now let's translate some verbal expressions into algebraic expressions. A stick is x meters long, so I know that x is the length of the stick. A string is 4 times as long as the stick. 4 times as long as this. Express the length of the string in terms of x. So 4 times as long as x is 4x. So that's my length of the string. So I'm going to write 4x. If the total length of the string and the stick is 15 meters, how long is the string? So if the total length of the string and the stick is 15, so that means the string and the stick added together would be 15. How long is the string? So the string I know is 4x, and the stick is x, and they're telling me that added together this equals 15. Now if I simplify 4x plus x, I get 5x equals 15. So what must x equal? 5 times what will give you 15? You could divide both sides by 5, and you'd find out x is 3, which means that if x is 3, that means that the stick is 3 meters long. They're asking you how long is the string. So if I know the stick, which is x, is 3 meters long, then I'm going to do 4 times 3 to find out the string is 12 meters long. So how long is the string? 12 meters long. And this should make sense because the string is 4 times as long as the stick, and they add up to 15 meters long. Okay.